I'm 51 years old and I have no retirement saved. I raised my girls by myself. I worked multiple jobs. I did everything right. I paid the bills. I showed up. I kept the lights on. And every time life happened, a car repair, a medical bill, or a kid who needed something, I pulled from wherever I had set a tiny bit aside because that's what moms do. And then I took a $10,000 pay cut to protect my mental health because I was drowning. And somehow I ended up $10,000 in debt. Tell me how we can work this hard for decades.
It's not somehow you ended up $10,000 in debt. You said you took a pay cut, a $10,000 pay cut at that. If you're a single mom, only one income in the house, you made a conscious decision to take a 10K pay cut and then say somehow I went into $10,000 into debt. If I'm doing the simple math, if you take a 10K pay cut, you're still spending that 10K. You're going to have to borrow that 10K credit card debt somewhere. So that's where the debt came from. So it's like she said she did everything right. And again, I sympathize for her because what I see is I identify what it is. It's a lack of financial literacy. We can sit here and blame it on society, the economy, being a single mother, but I guarantee you, you can look at some single mothers out there that really took advantage of opportunity and that are striving. You know, you got stay-at-home moms that are out there. They're making the best of the little they have, but they're putting their money in wise places. So what I could tell her is even if you had a little bit, if you worked for decades, I guarantee you, if you're just putting it in a regular savings account or a shoebox or a piggy bank, you're not going to get a return on your money. What I can tell you is if you put that in the stock market or if you invest it, like I said, maybe in real estate, you don't honestly, she doesn't even have to go because that's too much to manage. That's too much of over. If something happens, you have a repair, major repair. If she doesn't have the income to support that, it's not good. So I would say stock market would have been the safest bet for her. Over 2 decades, or she said 4 decades, so I'm assuming it's at least 2 decades she's been working. Over that time frame, even a little bit can outpace like inflation, but she doesn't I guess is not aware of that. And I would like to see her elaborate on more how she I guess save that money or put the little to aside because it does matter. Because even if you're putting in a high yield savings account, you get maybe 3 to 4%. So that's not much, but you know, the average return in the stock market is anywhere from 8 to 10%. To be conservative is 7. So you compound 7% every year. Even if you start with a little bit, it could have been a lot. So I don't know there's no excuses. It's like, take it for what it is. You didn't do everything right. If you're in this position, you didn't do everything right. Unless something tragic happened to cause it. Sorry, you didn't do everything right.
Do everything we were told to do, and still end up near retirement with nothing waiting for us. And for a minute, I was embarrassed. What if people think I failed? What if they think I should have planned better? What if I'm too old to start something new? And then this is what I realized. The system didn't raise my girls. I did. The opinions didn't pay my bills. I did. And nobody's coming to fund my retirement. So if I'm going to build one, it's going to be me. If you're a Gen X mom sitting there thinking,
I give it to her. So she's taking accountability. She understands she needs to build a retirement. It just sounds like she may have found out a little too late. I mean, it's not too late. 51, depending on how much she's earning, and I'm assuming hopefully her kids are off on their own, so she has some extra income that she doesn't have to allocate to taking care of her kids. Then she could, if invested properly, put herself in a position, depending on how she's I guess what she's earning or what she's doing, but it's also her savings rate. For example, if you're earning 6 figures, but you're only spending 50 or maybe even 30-40% of what you earn, and you can put that away over a short time frame, she could catch up or at least have a cushion going into retirement. Because I don't know, Social Security is not that reliable. So for me, it's just like if she could go back, investing would be the primary thing she should have done into her retirement accounts, her Roth IRA. She could have gotten a full whatever, even let's say even if it was $200,000 over 2 decades, and that's really contributing a small amount. I'm not going to pull up a compound interest calculator, but I'm telling you, I know the math. Like even small amount over that time frame, she could probably pull out $300,000-$400,000, just not even maxing her Roth out. Still, just like, and it's also dependent on what you invest into. So for me, is like take accountability, and it sounds like she is, but like it has to come down to you. Like, do you want to live a secure life and compromise some things now? It's called delayed gratification, but nobody wants to do that. So it's up to you. You could either think you need to get everything now and feel like you're fulfilled, and then be in a position like this when you're saying you're 51, and you don't have anything for retirement.
Thinking that you've worked all these years and feeling like you're very behind, you're not alone and you're not behind and you're just getting started. We're not too old and we're not washed up. We are not going into retirement broke because we're too scared to try something different.
There you go.
If we could raise humans on survival mode, then we can learn a new skill. And this time, we're building something for us. I'm 50.
Shout out to her. See, that was the redemption I wanted to hear. She's taking full accountability. It's not too late, and I can tell you it's not. I started, I say till in my 30s, I say, really taking investing serious, you know? So in my 20s, I still invested into like 401ks. I probably cashed out my 401k a couple of times, transitioning between jobs, and just spent the money when I could have. So I've learned some from a lot of my financial failures. Like, I could have been, honestly, at my age right now, if I would have made better decisions financially, I could be retired now. So that's why I don't want to hear that. I mean, I do understand that I'm accountable for the decisions I made financially. I'm not in a position where I'm retired now. So it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it's just like, you need to do a post-mortem, do some self-reflection, and it seems she did that. So I'm rooting for her, you know. So definitely, like I said, there's opportunities for you to save yourself if you're in this predicament. And yeah, kudos to her, man. She put on her big girl pants and said, let's do it at 51. Shout out, you know.
Retirement is over, man. If you even considering retirement, man, in 2026 or any years after 2026, don't even think about retirement, man. Rethink your decision, because right now, times has changed, man. Did you guys know that they changed the full retirement benefits from age 62 to age 67, which puts you 3 years from being 70 years old? A lot of people.
That's where I need to stop him, because what he's talking about is retirement benefits, Social Security. Sometimes, like, a lot of people think that you could rely on Social Security. If you're planning for retirement and that's your only plan, you're planning to fail. I could tell you that right now. And shout out to you, my guy, but you're giving out false information. What you should have been doing, like I said in the previous video, is investing your money for your own retirement. And then in the last video, she said they never told you this. It's just like, okay, so are you going to take accountability or control of your future and put yourself in a position where you're the one who's dictating how things go? Or are you going to keep making excuses? So it's just like, to be in this position at this age is never good. I don't want to see anybody like this. So I was like, I've learned at a later age, but it's never too late. Like I said, sometimes, like, you got to work a little harder, put yourself in a position to maybe earn more, you know, increase your skill set. And it can be harder in the latter years of your life to make a complete transition to learning something new, but it's possible, you know. My father went back to school like in his 60s, dude. Like, so I give him credit for that, like being able to pivot after being an entrepreneur most of his life. You know, it's like, you can do it. So it's like, if you want to, you actually can make things happen. So and again, you shouldn't just rely on Social Security. You know, take your own future into your hands, man.
Don't even make it to see 67, let alone to see age 62. The retirement statute loss is a joke. Person goes in, files.
Hold on, do y'all hear that chaos in the background? What is that? I hear kids screaming. That's wild. I feel you, brother. I ain't got that many. I got one, but what is going on? You sure you want to retire, dog? No, I'm playing. No, kids are amazing. I just have to comment on that.
For their retirement benefits, they say, well, you can get part of your benefits while you're 62 years old. You work all those damn years of your life, man, to get to 62, and you ready to cash out and get your nest egg, only to go to the Social Security office and they tell you the sad news. that you cannot get your full benefit for an additional 5 years. That's messed up, man. They need to tell people that stuff in advance, not wait until they get 30 or 40 years on the same job and then drop the bad news on them that you can't retire till you 67. Listen, man, people can't even afford their car payments. We don't even talk about paying car insurance. The car insurance.
All right, I'm just going to have to drop some. I'm going to give some actionable steps. I'm not just going to keep saying invest. You can go to Vanguard, Fidelity, Robinhood, and start a taxable brokerage. Within that taxable brokerage, you could either start a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA. Like, there's so many options within any, and a lot of them are free. Like, there was a time where the barrier to entry to invest was difficult. You had to have a lot. In some of these mutual funds, they have like a minimum. Like, maybe you need 3,000, 5,000. I've been investing for some time, and I can tell you the barrier to entry is the lowest it's ever been. It's way easier. There's so much information out there. So I hope somebody gives him the rundown on what to do. But anybody can go. Like, if you're watching this right now and you don't invest, go on any of those. Look at a brokerage. It literally will take you 20 minutes to set up a brokerage. You could put $5 in a week to VU. If you want to go VTI, you want to go broad stock market, if you want to get into some tech, y'all making me go off on a tangent because this is bothering me because he's putting this bad information out there. So we can go into the Qs. I can keep going, but ultimately, man, it's up to you. There's so much information out there. You don't have to come from a family that was well off or was financially literate. You don't. You can make that and break those binds and change it for yourself. Man, I had to stop this dude. He ain't, it's BS.
It's almost the same as the car payment. On top of this high, scamming rent prices. Come on, man. Listen, we can't retire, man. Retirement is a thing of the past. The truth of the matter is you're going to work until you actually die. There is no if, answer, buts. You're going to work until you die.
That's manifestation. If you say that, you're out of your mind, not me. I'm definitely retiring early. And like I said, I could have been retired. But what happens is, like, each time I reach a milestone or a goal, I'll be like, all right, I only need to make this amount of money and I'll be fine. And you know what happened each time I did that? I increased the amount I spend. The cost of living just kept creeping on me. And in addition to that, I was having lifestyle creep. So then it's just like, cost of living keeps increasing, and then I'm increasing how much I'm spending as I make more until I snapped out of it and just said, I'm not doing that. I'm putting myself in a better position. So I don't know about you. I'll be retired way before 60. I'm just saying, because I'm taking control of my future. So let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's ridiculous. It pushes rhetoric out there. Each one teach one. If you interested in investing, there's ways to get it done. Love y'all. Peace out.